for the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Scoreboard Show. Presented locally by State Senator Lee Anderson, Hill Insurance, State Representative Alan Powell, Burrell's Law Office, Red Clay Properties, Suburban Propane, Purina of Hartwell, Adams Building Supply, Jeff Brown Country Financial Insurance, Tri-County Chevrolet, Lake Hartwell Contractors, and by Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic. Stay tuned as the Scoreboard Show begins right now.
Hey football fans, this is Bonnie McDonald with the Sold Squad at Remax Classic. As a wife and mother of 5, I completely understand the importance of finding the perfect place to call home. It's my passion to help growing families plant their roots right here in our Bulldog Nation. So forget the stress of buying or selling a home, get in the game, and call Bonnie McDonald with Remax Classic at 706-982-4978.
From our family to yours, go Dogs!
Senator Lee Anderson and his family and staff are proud to serve the great people in the 24th District of the Senate of Georgia, consisting of Hart, Elbert, Lincoln, Oglethorpe, Tolliver, Wilkes, Richmond, and Columbia counties. He is also proud to support all area high school athletics. If you ever have a concern, you are welcome to contact Senator Lee Anderson by calling his office at 404-656-5114 or email him at lee.anderson@senate.ga.gov.
At Hill Insurance, we are a family-owned business, so we take pride in helping families with their insurance needs. We provide insurance solutions to the residents and business owners in Georgia, representing many insurance companies to best meet your needs for home, auto, boat, and general liabilities at the best possible prices. Call Matthew Hill or Morris Cleveland for a quote at 706-717-3125 or stop by our office at 161 East Howell Street in Hartwell. That's Hill Insurance.
Suburban Propane, formerly Drake Gas, invites you to join the Suburban Propane family. That means you'll receive the same great service from employees you know and trust, still serving you from Royston, Hartwell, Elberton, and Lexington. Plus, you'll enjoy easy payment plans, online account access, and emergency support. Now is the best time to call and take advantage of our fall fill-up and tank installation specials. Call us today at 706-245-6111. That's 706-245-6111.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm your host, Lee Blackwell. Joining me tonight is my dad, as always, Coach Terry Blackwell, and answering the phones is, of course, Tressa Blackwell. Number to call, 706-376-3363. Once again, that number is to call to get on the air, 706-376-3363. I tell you what, Dad, Hart County coming in tonight needing to win to go ahead and start this public schools championship, and they got off on the right foot, coming away with a 21-6 victory over East Jackson.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad we played the second half. We could just about do away with the first half, as far as I'm concerned. It just seemed like Coach Dickerson said, we just stepping on our own toe, penalties that were hurting at critical times, and still had some in the second half, but the offense finally got clicking. And once Kurt got a little feel for the running game and as well as the throwing game and figured out what they could do and couldn't do, it was domination in the second half. I mean, they really did. They just absolutely took it from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's like that with high school football players. It's you don't really understand what's going on, and then all of a sudden it's like a light switch. They see an opening, and they hit that opening, hit a score or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's just on. Then everything goes right for you.
Yeah, I can imagine that probably, Coach Dickerson probably said something along the lines. I don't know. I wasn't there. Of course, I was here, but, I'm sure he went in there and said, look, we've done everything possible to stop ourselves. if we could quit stopping ourselves and just pick up on little keys here, yonder, and there that I know they probably talked about all week. Let's go back to this and go back to this, and let's do this in the running game. Let's, made little adjustments at halftime like most good coaches do, and when you come back out there in the second half, it's just a different ball game, and it's kind of like that offense was kind of like a train. Once they got that thing going, boys, she was steamrolling some folks. Rangel's just a beast with the ball, and then when you get him going a little bit, and he starts, he's such a physical runner, and after a while he wears on the defense, and I think that may have happened a little bit tonight too. He just absolutely just tore through tackles and made 2-yard runs into 9-yard runs and 10-yard runs, and once you start really, and Coach said at halftime they had 6 and 7, 8 guys up in the box trying to stop the run. So once you start frustrating them with that, they try to jump on that running back, and that's when Kirk can pull it out, take off and get in the alley and just take it to the house. And he did it one time with some good blocking by his receivers. And once you get that train going, it's hard for one person to stop.
Absolutely. Other Region 8 AA game that is final so far, Hebron Christian travels to Stevens County to the reservation, and the Indians make a game of it all the way up until the fourth quarter, and then Hebron flexed their muscle and pulled away. Hebron winning by a score of 51-24, and that score was 27-24 going into the fourth quarter, and Hebron scored 3 touchdowns there in the fourth quarter to kind of separate themselves from the Stevens County Indians.
I'm not against those kids that play for Hebron Christian. Look, do what you got to do, but look, a team that can go get what they want every year and get the best players around them are going to be hard for public schools to beat, and especially that bunch that's together at Hebron right now. I'm not against the kids, but I'm against the system that puts them in the same region with us. And Stevens County's not a bad club, and they're coming to Herndon next Friday night to change the perspective of the Hart County people. I can tell you that, because they've never wanted to lose to Hart County, and they never will. Neither would we like to do anything better than to beat Stevens County Indians. So Herndon's going to be a dog in a cat fight. Or not really a cat, a dog in the engine fight.
Yep.
Next week down there at Frank Snyder, not Frank Snyder, down here at football field we play.
Herndon Stadium.
Herndon. I couldn't get it there for a second. That Alzheimer's is kicking in, I'm afraid.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hart County and Stevens County have had some battles in the past. This is before they were in the region, and then they've kind of been in and out the last 10 or 15 years here of being in the same region or not in the region. I remember one time when Torn Poole and the Stevens County Indians come down to Torn Poole, I believe was his name.
Had that big number 5 on his jersey?
Yeah, absolutely. Went on to wear number 28 up at Tennessee and was pretty good up there too. Came into Herndon Stadium in Hart County, and I'm telling you, I've never seen that many people in Herndon Stadium before. There was people standing everywhere for that big matchup.
It was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to the phone lines at this time, and we'll go ahead and bring in this guy. We'll talk about that matchup as well. Joining us now on the phone lines is Coach Brooks Mubern, and Coach, me and Daddy were just talking about, I don't know if you was able to catch that conversation or not. We were talking about when the Stevens County Indians and Torn Poole come into Herndon Stadium at Hart County and all the massive humanity of people that was there for that matchup.
Yeah, that was a big crowd. And unfortunately, the Indians come on top that night. Poole's a really good running back. Of course, he went on to play at Tennessee. But, yeah, a lot of people in Herndon Stadium that night. I'm pretty sure there was in excess of 9,000 or 10,000 people at the stadium. So that was a huge night, though, that's for sure. And looking forward to a big matchup again. It's always big when Stevens County and Hart County get together. Kind of take you back to the late 80s, the Rodney Walker and Bobby Pate days, when the Indians come in town. So as Coach Pate used to say, it ought to be a happening Friday night in Herndon Stadium.
Absolutely. Before we look ahead to that, let's go back and talk about the Hart County East Jackson game tonight. And Hart County kind of shot themselves in the foot in the first half. Couldn't really get anything going offensively. Defensively, they played pretty well. Just give up that 175-yard touchdown play. And but in the second half, Hart County come out and took it to East Jackson. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was a struggle first half, really. I mean, you look back at it, I don't know what the yardage totaled up to be, but East Jackson really had the long run by the quarterback, who I think has probably got an offer by maybe one of the cadet schools, but really fast quarterback. He had a long run, and then he got loose and had a long pass play, and that was really all their offense in the first half. And we did struggle a little bit first half. I'll be honest with you, East Jackson they were committed to stopping our running game, and they were going man free coverage with press corners early in the game, and we had to complete a few balls to kind of loosen them up. And that's what we did. We were able to complete a couple of passes, and the corners loosened up a little bit. Anytime you do that, and you can get a guy out of the box with some formations, it's always good to try to run the ball. And Faustino, I'm not sure what his yardage was, but he had a good night rushing, and we got a little quarterback loose a couple times too, guys, which was nice. So at the end of the day, it was kind of a slow start for us, but in the night we ended up should be number 2 in the region, I think, after I heard some of the scores come through.
I tell you what, Coach, I can almost imagine what Coach Dickerson might have been saying at halftime. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but I'm trying to say that I feel like he was probably saying, look, guys, we could have had we had enough bad luck in the first half on offense, and we just need to get out of our own way. And I think in the second half, 2 things happened, in my opinion. See what you think. One, Rangel is so physical running the football that I think he started to wear on the defense a little bit, turning 2-yard runs into 9-yard runs. And all of a sudden, when that started taking place, then Kirk could do his thing either through the air or up the alley on some kind of a keeper or some sort. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it is. And you're right about Faustino Rangel. He is he's a grown man. I'm not going to lie to you about it. He's put on some really good weight in the off season. I think I've heard coaches say that he went from somewhere in the high 170s, and he's somewhere north of about 207, 208, and he has actually gotten faster. He is a well-built young man, so anytime he gets the ball in his hands is a good thing for us. But you're right. You can't – a lot of times – and I just saw where Miami got beat tonight versus Louisville, man. Carson Beck threw 4 picks. So you got to – you try to take away one thing. Like you said, they try to take away Faustino, and what happened? We got Kurt out the back gate a couple times on a long touchdown, had some good runs, and they were committed to stopping 21, and ended up they didn't. We kind of wore them a little bit. I saw their defensive linemen putting their hands on their hips there on one drive, and we just kept feeding the rock. We just kept feeding it, and I think, honestly, at the end of the day, we were better conditioned than they were. I didn't see our kids cramping. I didn't see our kids putting their hands on their hips. We just kind of got control of them. We kept running at them and kind of finished them off. So it was close, too close for a little while, but luckily we found a way to scrap and win, and 2-1 in the region.
Yeah, I'm not able to see it in person, Coach Brook, but I just what they say on the radio and stuff. It just seems like he runs hard, and it's like a lot of those backs we've had in the past, and some I hope we have in the future. After a while, they don't want to come up and hit them like they once did, and I just thought that made probably the biggest difference in the whole offensive set. But hey, here we are. We're 1-0 in the public school playoff, and how was the atmosphere in the stadium tonight? And I know rec night's always exciting and a lot of fun.
Man, Coach, you're right. I'll tell you, it's good to see so many. I mean, there was hundreds of kids and their parents out there. You got dads coaching, you got moms doing the cheerleading, and it was great. I think my favorite part the whole pregame was like we introduced all those teams, and they got down in the east end zone, down in the field house, and then after everybody was announced, it was like a sprint to get back down to the other gate, back down at the arch, and it was just great to see all those kids. Man, they were just down there having fun, and they respect our athletes, our football players, and look up to them. And so it was just a great night, great family night. We had a great crowd there tonight, honestly. And it was a good night in the stadium. It's always good for rec night, though, because you got so many families that get to come and go. And that's what high school football is all about.
You're right. And you're not going to have many players you got 4 years with them players, and then you got to have some more coming. If you don't, it's not going to work out too well.
You're right. And, this is a good segue, Coach Block. We read my mind a little bit. I want to say congratulations to Earl Fouch and his staff and his players for finishing out undefeated and winning the region title yesterday for middle school NEGIA championship. So excited for the future, and the future Dogs will be coming up in the next couple of years for sure.
Let's talk about Stevens County for a little bit, Coach. And what do you know about them way too early here? What do you know about them?
I don't know a whole lot, honestly. I do know this. I do that their head coach left. I think he probably got a higher paying job somewhere, evidently maybe at Fitzgerald. They lost the senior quarterback, who was his son, graduated, really good player. And they lost probably the best player on the field last year. And ever since I can remember growing up with rec ball, because I had a son his age, the running back that went to Tulane was a special ball player. And so when you have to replace a head coach, I know Flowers is doing a great job up there at Stevens County, but then you lose a senior quarterback and you lose the senior running back of that kid's caliber, it's hard to replace that. But, at the end of the day, it's still Stevens County. They're going to come down Turie Mountain. They're going to come in here, and they're going to fight us tooth and nail. So I don't know much about Stevens. I know they ended up beating Franklin kind of in a close game there. I think they played with Hebron for a long time tonight, is what I heard. So we'll have to get ready. We'll have to get in the film room on Sunday and get a game plan ready for our kids and put them in a good chance to be able to go compete, and hopefully we'll come out on top next Friday night at Hearn Stadium.
The only thing I can tell you that I do know about the game tonight, I didn't watch it or anything, but we were getting reports, and Lee was looking at some of it, and I know that Hebron jumped out like 28-7. And then Stevens started fighting back. And then about the fourth quarter, Hebron flexed like they can do with their big play people and blew it on out a little bit. But it was extremely close until the fourth quarter, and they're going to come in, they'd like nothing. It'd make their season to beat Hart. So it's going to be quite a battle in Herndon this coming weekend, but that's what you live for. That's why you play the games.
Why you play the games. I mean, this is a big game for region playoff implications. I feel like the winner of the game Friday will probably go ahead and clinch a berth with a victory. And I don't know who Stevens has got after us, but it's coming down to Stevens County, and then we got to go to Carnesville on Halloween. So we'll take them one game at a time. But I feel like for us, where our seed is at, where East Jackson was seeded coming into this game, I felt like we gained a little leverage in terms of our rankings for the Double-A playoffs. So I feel like Friday night will be an opportunity to go to the playoffs. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Brooks, we really appreciate you calling in and giving us a report. I'm pretty sure you was either on the sidelines or definitely in the stands. So we appreciate you calling in, as always, and looking forward to talking to you after hopefully another Hart County win against the Stevens County Indians next week.
Hey, thank you, Lee. Thank you, Coach. Thanks for what y'all do for North Dakota football. Go Dogs.
Absolutely. And with that, we will be right back after this message on the Bonnie McDonald RE/MAX Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. Local scores on the other side. We'll hit them all for you when we get back here on WKOI.
You care about every detail, and so does Purina. Every ingredient in their pet food comes from trusted sources, and every ingredient has a purpose. Whether that purpose is to provide just the right nutrients your pet needs or a flavor they will love, Purina has over 250 recipes made without artificial flavors or preservatives for you to choose from. You're sure to find something both you and your pet will love. Learn more at purina.com/cares.
Looking to build your dream home or transform your space? At Lake Hartville Contractors in Hartville, Georgia, we bring your vision to life with high-quality construction you can count on. From custom homes and renovations to additions and outdoor living spaces, our craftsmanship blending beauty and functionality. With years of trusted experience, we're here to make your project stress-free and tailored to your needs. Phone 706-436-3441 today, or find us on Facebook at Lake Hartville Contractors. Your dream project starts here.
State Representative Alan Powell is proud and honored to serve the people of Hart, Franklin, and Madison counties and the General Assembly by representing their views. He is always available to help any citizen with their concerns and needs. State Representative Alan Powell is a lifelong citizen of this area, and he knows that his job is to be there for you, and he always will be. That's State Representative Alan Powell, serving the people of Hart, Franklin, and Madison counties, and a proud supporter of the Hart County Bulldogs.
When you need a law firm that is equipped to handle your personal injury matter, you need the Burrell's Law Office. The Burrell's Law Firm focuses on personal injury, workers' comp, and automotive accidents. Call 706-356-0518 to set up your free consultation. With offices conveniently located in Livonia and Hartwell. That's 706-356-0518. Burrell's Law Office. Nothing else than excellence.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm your host, Lee Blackwell. Joining me tonight, my dad, Coach Terry Blackwell. Answering the phones for us is Tressa Blackwell. Number to call, 706-376-3363. 706-376-3363. Let's go ahead and hit these local scores. We'll start in Region 8 AA. Of course, you had Hart County taking care of. Hart County won 21-6 against East Jackson. And you had Hebron Christian 51, Stevens County 24. And then Prince Avenue Christian 45, Franklin County 14. Hart County's record goes to 3-5 on the year, 2-1 in the region. East Jackson is 5-3 on the year, 0-3 in the region. Hebron with the win tonight went to 6-1 on the year, 3-0 in the region. Stevens County on the loss drops to 3-5 on the year, 1-2 in the region. And then Prince Avenue Christian 6-2 on the year, 2-1 in the region. Franklin County drops to 6-2 on the year, 1-2 in the region. So region standings after tonight, Hebron Christian ranked in the number 1 spot. Hart County is number 2 by virtue of tiebreaker. They're tied right now with Prince Avenue Christian, but by winning the head-to-head matchup, Hart County is ranked number 2 in the region. Prince Avenue is 3rd. Then you have Stevens County and Franklin County both at 1 and 2. I'm not sure if they played or not to know if they have a tiebreaker or not, but Stevens County, Franklin County both 1 and 2 in the region. Then now East Jackson drops to 0-3 in the region after going 5-0 in the pre-region schedule. Moving to Region 8, Single A Division 1. 3 games tonight. We had Elbert County traveling down to number 6 ranked Athens Academy, and Athens Academy was all over the Elbert County Blue Devils by a score of 48-14. Athens Academy goes to 8-1 on the year, 5-0 in the region. Elbert County goes to 4-5 on the year and 4-1 in the region. Banks County traveling down to Providence Christian, and Providence Christian coming away with a 27-19 victory. Banks County was leading that game by a score of 19-14, and Providence Christian was able to come away with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Providence Christian's record now 2-6 on the year, 1-3 on the region. Banks County drops to 0-8 on the year, 0-4 in the region. Banks County Leopards looking for their first win of the year after week 8. Oglethorpe County travels down to Commerce and takes care of business by a score of 24-14. We'll put that in there. Oglethorpe County going to 4-4 on the year, 2-2 in the region. Commerce going to 0-8 on the year, 0-4 in the region. Commerce also looking for their first win of the year. Only team off tonight was Raven County after that loss at Oglethorpe County. They got a bye week. They will take on Athens Academy next week for pretty much the region championship. Athens Academy 4-0 in the region, and Raven County 3-1 in the region. So the winner of that matchup will more than likely be your region champion. Moving to Region 8 AAA. All 6 teams were off tonight. It is their final bye week. So next week, Jefferson will travel to Cherokee Bluff. Oconee County will travel to Monroe area, and East Hall will travel to West Hall. Leading that region right now is Jefferson and Oconee County. They're both tied at 3-0 in the region. Monroe area is behind them at 2-1. Cherokee Bluff behind the Purple Hurricanes by a record of 1-2, and then East Hall and West Hall are both 0-3. And the winner of that matchup next week will have their first region win of the year. Moving to Region 6 AAA, Lumpkin County goes to North Hall, and North Hall just keeps on rolling. North Hall wins by a score of 35-12, moving their record to 8-0 in the year and 5-0 in the region. Lumpkin County now 5-3 on the year and 3-2 in the region. GAC ranked number 10 in the private classification goes to White County and has no problem with the White County Warriors by a score of 40-14. GAC now 6-2 on the year, 4-1 in the region. White County drops to 1-7 on the year and 1-4 in the region. And then Pickens travels to Johnson and also has no problem with the Johnson Knights. Pickens wins by a final score of 49-3. Pickens now 7-1 on the year, 4-1 in the region. And Johnson drops to 0-8 on the year and 0-5 in the region. And then Chestatee travels to Dawson County, and what I would call an upset in this region here, that Dawson County takes care of business by a score of 42-14 all over Chestatee, moving Dawson County's record to 3-5 on the year, 2-3 in the region, and Chestatee is now 3-5 on the year and 1-4 in the region. So leading that region right now, North Hall with a record of 5-0. GAC and Pickens are both tied at 4-1 behind them. And then we have Dawson County at 2-3, Chestatee at 1-4. Lumpkin County's 3-2, then Dawson County at 2-3, White County at 1-4, Chestatee at 1-4, and Johnson 0-5. At this time, we will take a moment here and pause our local scores and go to the telephone lines. And joining us is, of course, the voice of the Hart County Bulldogs, Benjamin London. And Benjamin, we appreciate you calling in and joining us tonight.
Oh, anytime, guys. And give a shout-out to the Troup County Tigers. I picked them. I felt like I was alone, but they were able to get a huge win tonight, 38-24. So you can circle a win next to my name right there for me.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have that. I do have that all calculated and tabulated up. And then if you wouldn't have drunk that Franklin County Kool-Aid, you could have been 6-0 right now on the week. But, I mean, that game was actually pretty close at halftime. It was a 17-14 score at halftime. And then looks like Prince Avenue just kind of flexed their muscle in the second half against the Franklin County Lions.
Yeah, and, it's like what we kind of talked about pregame, when we were making our picks. I thought Franklin County had the chance to really control the game. And, they did very well from what it sounds like. They did really well at controlling that game early on. And then, obviously, Prince made the adjustments they needed to at the half to shut down Franklin's run game. And, that's all you really got to do with Franklin is find a way to shut down the run game, eliminate the explosive plays, and I think that is Franklin's kryptonite. And, I give credit to Coach Rick and their staff for making those adjustments and getting a big win down there in Carnesville.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about this Hart County East Jackson game. Hart County struggled the first half offensively. Defensively played well, just give up one big play that they were able to get a touchdown on a big run, I believe it was, by the quarterback.
Yeah.
Hart County come out the second half, though, and was able to kind of right the ship and get pointed in the right direction. Kirsten Curry was able to take over. And once they – I'm not going to say let Kirsten throw the football, but once the passing game stretched the field a little bit, it definitely opened up the running game for the Hart County Bulldogs in the second half.
Yeah, and, give credit to Corey Dickerson. I think at the half, really, you kind of looked back at the first half and said, all right, what is East Jackson's defense really doing to stop the offensive production? Hart County had a couple of drives there in that first half where they were able to go down the field and, get in scoring range, but they just weren't able to find the end zone. And, you have to go back and look and say, all right, what were we doing wrong? And really and realistically, when you look back at what East Jackson was doing, they were loading the box a ton, and they were saying, hey, if anything, if we're going to die on a hill tonight, we're going to die stopping the run. And give credit to them. They stopped the run pretty well tonight. And it's like you said, when Hart County kind of opened up the passing game a little bit, you started to see some success. And it wasn't the deep ball that was working well. It was those middle to short gains that they were able to get in the passing game that elevated them to pick up some big yardage later on some plays. And it really opened up the run game even more. Normally you got to get the run game going before you open up the pass game. It was kind of reverse psychology for Hart County tonight, where they were able to at least get a couple of those big pass plays, those medium short pass plays, to be able to open up that run game for Faustino, because instead of loading the box, then they kind of spread things out a little bit defensively, and that's when Faustino was able to get those big runs.
Well, I really feel like that I think the rain gale effect finally started happening in the third and fourth quarter too, which really opened up the ability for Kurt to get in the alley, running the ball as well as throwing the ball. But man, that kid's a man child. And y'all kept talking about they turned 2-yard runs into 9-yard runs, and and all this, and really after a while that pounding running back really starts to make a defense soften up.
Yeah, and give credit to the offensive staff, because it's not like a ton of eye candy that you're having to watch, because they're not really putting a lot of guys in motion. But now when you see, oh crap, not only is Rangel a guy that's a threat in the run game, now you're having to also defend Curry. And, with his speed, as he showed on that big touchdown run for 42 yards, once he gets the corner and he's on a straight beeline shot to the end zone, you better have an angle, because if not, you're not catching them. And, that's the biggest thing, is when you're able to have both those guys be so powerful in the run game and so efficient in the run game, it opens up the entire offense. And you got to give credit to Corey Dickerson and their staff offensively for being able to open up those seams and open up those gaps. And the offensive line did a really good job. And give credit to the wide receivers too. They were out there blocking on the edge for Kirsten Curry to get around that corner on the edge and dash for a 42-yard touchdown. So, it goes across everybody. But once you're able to kind of say, hey, if you're going to defend one guy, here's the next guy you're going to have to defend. And it's a good thing that it's your quarterback, Kirsten Curry.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and turn our focus to the Stevens County Indians. Give us an early kind of onset of what we need to look out for when it comes to the Stevens County Indians.
Yeah, and, the biggest thing for them is, normally don't even talk about a kicker, but, when you get into field goal range, kind of like where Hart County was tonight, you're kind of in that situation where, you're too close to punt, but you're too far for a field goal. For Stevens County, you could be at the 50-yard line, and Luke Waters is going to nail a field goal. I mean, they got a phenomenal kicker that will probably be playing on Saturdays when he's done playing down in the reservation. He's a phenomenal kid, probably one of the best legs I've probably seen on a high school kicker in a long, long time. But when you look at Stevens, they started off rough. Obviously they had a lot of guys who were not returning, but then they had some guys who were returning. And so they were really relying on that senior leadership, and they had that rough start at the beginning of the year. But when they played Franklin, it was like they capitalized on all of the mistakes that Franklin made, and that's what elevated to the win over Franklin County. And then obviously they took on Prince. Prince kind of coming off that game against Hart County, they wanted to show who they really were and make a statement. They really kind of pulled away in that Prince Avenue game. But then tonight, obviously, playing, Hebron Christian, for some reason, Stevens County plays Hebron Christian the best out of everybody in our region. I don't know if there's like a rivalry, if it's I don't know what the deal is, but Toccoa is a scary place for Hebron Christian to go and play. So, it's intriguing to kind of see once I sit down and watch some film this week on, how they are. But, their quarterback, he's not experienced. They had a guy that was 3-4 year starter last year who graduated out. And so, new quarterback, new offensive line, defensive line's new, secondary is a little bit of experience. But it should be a fun game because no matter what happens, you can go and look at the X's and O's. But at the end of the day, it's a rivalry game. And, that changes everything. And we'll see how the Indians come out to Hart County. And hopefully they'll take an L and take it back to the reservation next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Benjamin London, voice of the Hart County Bulldogs for WKLY, and of course, sports editor for the Hartwell Sun. Benjamin, we appreciate you calling in and giving us your opinion and thoughts of tonight's game between the Hart County Bulldogs and the East Jackson Eagles.
I know, anytime. I appreciate you guys, and look forward to talking with y'all soon.
Absolutely. Benjamin London with us on the phone lines right here on the Bonnie McDonald RE/MAX Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. We will take a break. When we come back, we will get back into the local scores here on WKLY.
Have you tried Tri-County Chevrolet?
I'm Larry Jenkins. If you're looking for that small town buying experience, it's right here at Tri-County Chevrolet. We're the people you see at the grocery store, at church, in the car line, at school. People who are your friends and neighbors. So before you head out of town for your next Chevrolet or pre-owned vehicle, see Tri-County Chevrolet, Highway 29 in Royston, and online at TriCountyChevy.com.
At Tri-County Chevrolet. Yeah.
Together, let's drive.
Locally owned businesses are a big part of our community. If you're a business owner, I'd be proud to protect what you've worked so hard to build here in Hartwell. I'm Jeff Brown, your local country financial agent. I'll make sure you have the right coverages so you can protect what you have today and build for the future. I'll also give you quick personal support when you need it most, whether you're filing a claim or asking a simple question.
Hey, Siri, take me to Jeff Brown's Country Financial website.
Commercial insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Senator Lee Anderson and his family and staff are proud to serve the great people in the 24th District of the Senate of Georgia, consisting of Hart, Elbert, Lincoln, Oglethorpe, Tolliver, Wilkes, Richmond, and Columbia counties. He is also proud to support all area high school athletics. If you ever have a concern, you are welcome to contact Senator Lee Anderson by calling his office at 404-656-5114 or email him at lee.anderson@senate.ga.gov.
For all of your real estate needs, see the team at Red Clay Properties. They specialize in properties from Metro Atlanta to the North Georgia mountains, offering single-family homes, condos, and townhouses, acreage and farms, land lots, multifamily, and commercial property. With offices in Hartwell, Commerce, and Jefferson, they can surely find the property you're looking for. So for all of your buying or selling real estate needs, see broker Alan Powell and his team at Red Clay Properties. Go to redclayproperties.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Bonnie McDonald RE/MAX Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm your host, Lee Blackwell. Joining me is my dad, Coach Terry Blackwell, and answering the phones for us is, of course, Tressa Blackwell. Number to call, 706-376-3363. Number to call, 706-376-3363. Let's get back into these local scores. We had left off at Region 8 4A. So we'll have Madison County went to Cedar Shoals. Madison County won 42-7, moving Madison County's record to 5-3, 2-2 on the region, and Cedar Shoals drops to 0-8 on the year, 0-4 in the region. Flowery Branch travels down to Walnut Grove, and the Falcons take care of business by a score of 49-28 over the Walnut Grove. Flowery Branch goes to 6-2 on the year, 3-1 in the region. Walnut Grove is 5-3 now on the year and 1-3 in the region. Eastside travels to East Forsyth. Eastside wins by a score of 42-7, moving their record to 5-4 on the year and 3-2 in the region. And East Forsyth drops to 5-4 on the year and 2-3 in the region. Only team off this week, with this being a 7-team region, is number 2 ranked North Oconee. They are 8-0, 4-0 in the region, and they will travel to Flowery Branch next week. Let me add Flowery Branch's record right here. 3-1 in the region, like I said earlier. So now, leading the region for Region 8 4A is North Oconee at 4-0. Flowery Branch is 3-1. And that may be the region championship next week. Looks like if North Oconee can take care of business, that means they will be region champs for Region 8 4A. But if Flowery Branch wins, Flowery Branch and will win the region, because that means they will be 4-1 and have the tiebreaker over North Oconee. So right now in the region, North Oconee 4-0, Flowery Branch 3-1. You have Eastside at 3-2, Madison County at 2-2, and then Walnut Grove at 1-3, and Cedar Shoals 0-4. Moving on to Region 8 5A. Number 11 ranked Jackson County goes to Winder Barrow. Comes away with a victory by a score of 57-13, moving Jackson County to 7-1 on the year, 3-0 in the region. Winder Barrow is now 4-5 on the year, 3-2 in the region. Only other region game happening tonight was Appalachia. They traveled to Alcovey, and Alcovey comes away with their first victory of the year by a score of 27-21. Alcovey now 1-7 on the year, 1-3 in the region. And Appalachia is 2-7 on the year, 1-4 in the region.
That was an overtime game, wasn't it, Lee?
I believe so. It said on Max Preps double overtime, but sometimes they have a glitch. So I'm not 100% sure if it was double overtime or not, but it definitely said overtime on Max Preps. The other teams that were off tonight for Region 8 5A was Habersham Central, Clark Central, Loganville. Those 3 teams were off tonight. Habersham Central will go to Appalachia next week. Clark Central goes to Alcovey next week. And Loganville goes to Jackson County next week. So, region rankings right now. Believe Jackson. Actually, I didn't write that in correctly. They are 4-0 on the year. Yeah, they're 4-0 in the region. Habersham Central's 4-0 in the region. Winder Barrow's 3-2. Clark Central 2-2. Appalachia 1-4. Alcovey 1-3. Yep, 1-3. So that's the region rankings there. Once again, Jackson County and Habersham Central leading that. Both of those teams are 4-0 in the region, and I believe that's an October 31st matchup between those two, as long as they're able to take care of business next week. Moving to Region 7 5A, we had Chattahoochee traveling to number 3 ranked Gainesville. Gainesville wins that game by a score of 55-3, moving their record to 8-1 on the year, 5-0 in the region. And Chattahoochee drops to 1-7 on the year, 0-4 in the region. Also in that region, this region right here is loaded. It's got number 3 Gainesville, number 5 Roswell, and number 6 Milton. All 5 teams are ranked in the top 10, and Milton just has dropped out of the top 5 since Gainesville beat them the previous week. So this region in 5A, Region 7, is absolutely loaded. But the other team ranked in the top 5 is Lanier. Roswell. They hosted Lanier tonight, and Roswell come away with a victory by a score of 57-0, moving Roswell to 7-1 on the year, 4-0 in the region. Lanier is now 5-4 on the year, 2-3 in the region. The other game that took place in that region was Secklinger. They traveled to Johns Creek and win by a score of 44-0. Secklinger is now 4-4 on the year, 1-3 in the region. Johns Creek 0-8 on the year, 0-4 in the region. The team that was off this week was Milton, ranked number 6. They're 6-2 on the year, 3-1 in the region. So Gainesville leading the way in the region by a region record of 5-0. Roswell is 4-0. Milton 3-1. Lanier 2-3. Secklinger 1-3. And Johns Creek, unfortunately, is 0-4 on the year. Morgan County out of Region 2 AA, went to Jackson. This is not Jackson County. This is just Jackson High School in the Region 2 AA region class. And Morgan County comes away with a victory by a score of 42-18, moving their record to 8-0 on the year and 3-0 in that region. Moving over to South Carolina, we're missing a couple of scores in South Carolina, but we have the majority of the ones that we like to try to carry. We may not can give you the region picture like we would like to, but we will try our best to try to get those by the end of the night. But first off, Region 1 3A, number 1 ranked BHP goes to Crescent and wins by a score of 55-28. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that locks it up for BHP, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't think anybody will compete with them. I think they've got it handled from here, but they are 8-0 on the year, 2-0 in the region. Crescent is now 5-3 on the year, 2-1 in the region. West Oak traveled to Pendleton. Pendleton was able to win that game by a score of 40-14, moving Pendleton to 5-3 on the year, 2-0 in the region. And West Oak now is 4-5 on the year, 0-3 in the region. The outer region game for that region, because there's a 5-team region there in that Region 1, was Walhalla. Berea from Region 2 4A traveled to Walhalla, and Walhalla was able to come away with their first victory of the year by a score of 35-14 over Berea, moving Walhalla's record to 1-7 on the year and dropping Berea's record to 1-7 on the year. Now in that 2A4, that Region 2 4A division there, Greer traveled to number 8 ranked Seneca. Seneca was able to win that one by a score of 42-13. Greer started the year off 0-5 and then got into region play, or 0-4 and got into region play and was winning all their region games up until they ran into Seneca. So it drops Greer's record to 4-5 on the year, 4-1 in the region, and Seneca is 8-1 on the year, 4-1 in the region. Clubhouse leader right now for that region, though, is number 5 ranked Daniel. They hosted Pickens from South Carolina, and Daniel was able to win by a score of 52-7, moving Daniel to 7-1, 4-0 on the year in the region, and dropping Pickens to 2-6 on the year, 1-3 in the region. Blue Ridge travels to Travelers Rest, and Blue Ridge comes away with a victory by a score of 48-24, moving their record to 5-3 on the year, 2-2 in the region. Travelers Rest is now 2-6 on the year and 0-4 in the region. So like I said, Daniel leading the way there in that region by a ranking of 4-0. Seneca right behind them at 4-1. Greer behind them because of the tiebreaker from tonight at 4-1. Blue Ridge at 2-2. Pickens at 1-3 in that region follows them, and then Berea and Travelers Rest are both 0-4 in that region. Now moving on to Region 1 4A. We are missing one score out of this one, so we won't be able to give you the full region record. But as of right now, West Side traveled to Fountain Inn and come away. Actually, that's wrong. Fountain Inn traveled to West Side. Actually, I'm going to go with what Max Prep said. West Side traveled to Fountain Inn. West Side won that game by a score of 48-21, moving their record to 4-4 on the year, 3-0 in that region. And Fountain Inn is now 4-4 on the year and 1-2 in that region. Wren also travels to Lawrence, comes away with a victory by a score of 45-28, moving their record to 6-2 on the year, 3-0 in the region. And Lawrence falls to 1-7 on the year and 1-2 in that region. We are missing the South Side at Emerald score there, so we cannot give you a full preview look at their region standings at this time. We will try to get that before the 12 o'clock hour hits. But if not, right now you have Westside and Rim both at 3-0 leading that division. Dropping down to Region 1 5A, which hosts TL Hanna. Unfortunately, we do not have the TL Hanna score at this moment. They are 4-0 and leading that division. We are also missing the Malden Greenville score in that division. But we do have Greenwood at Woodmont. Greenwood ranked number 5 in 5A. which is kind of crazy, Dad, because T.L. Hanna has already beat Greenwood, but T.L. Hanna is only ranked 10th. Greenwood is ranked 5th, but they traveled to Woodmont and won that game by a score of 49-7. Greenwood now 7-1 on the year, 4-1 in the region. Woodmont drops to 2-6 on the year, 1-4 in the region. And final score, local score for October 17th is Hillcrest at Easley. Hillcrest won that game 49-13, moving Hillcrest to 5-3 on the year, 3-2 in the region, and Easley now 3-5 on the year, 1-4 in the region. When we come back, we will have some more local scores on the other side of this break here on the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show on WKLY.
Hey football fans, this is Bonnie McDonald with the Sold Squad at Remax Classic. As a wife and mother of 5, I completely understand the importance of finding the perfect place to call home. It's my passion to help growing families plant their roots right here in our Bulldog Nation. So forget the stress of buying or selling a home, get in the game, and call Bonnie McDonald with Remax Classic at 706-982-4978.
From our family to yours, go Dog!
At Hill Insurance, we are a family-owned business, so we take pride in helping families with their insurance needs. We provide insurance solutions to the residents and business owners in Georgia, representing many insurance companies to best meet your needs for home, auto, boat, and general liabilities at the best possible prices. Call Matthew Hill or Morris Cleveland for a quote at 706-717-3125 or stop by our office at 161 East Howell Street in Hartwell. That's Hill Insurance.
You care about every detail, and so does Purina. Every ingredient in their pet food comes from trusted sources, and every ingredient has a purpose. Whether that purpose is to provide just the right nutrients your pet needs or a flavor they will love, Purina has over 250 recipes made without artificial flavors or preservatives for you to choose from. You're sure to find something both you and your pet will love. Learn more at purina.com/cares.
State Representative Alan Powell is proud and honored to serve the people of Hart, Franklin, and Madison counties and the General Assembly by representing their views. He is always available to help any citizen with their concerns and needs. State Representative Alan Powell is a lifelong citizen of this area, and he knows that his job is to be there for you, and he always will be. That's State Representative Alan Powell, serving the people of Hart, Franklin, and Madison counties, and a proud supporter of the Hart County Bulldogs.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm your host, Lee Blackwell. My co-host, Coach Terry Blackwell, and answering the phones for us tonight is, of course, Tressa Blackwell. Telephone number to call, 706-376-3363, 706-376-3363. Let's go in and talk about some of these regions now that we got them, the local scores out completely now. We'll hit some regions and kind of talk about it a little bit. Let's first hit Region 7, 5A, Gainesville, a powerhouse region, really. It's got 3 teams ranked in the top 6. Got number 3 ranked Gainesville, number 5 ranked Roswell, number 6 ranked Milton, who Gainesville had beat last week. Gainesville and Roswell kind of set up to, looks like maybe an October 30th. Let me pull up their schedule right quick. I believe that's
It would shock me if it wasn't a 31st like the rest of them.
Like the rest of them, yeah, I believe it is, though. Let's pull it up here. Pulling up schedule. Absolutely. No, it's next week. It's a next week game.
Wow.
Region championship will be decided on the October 24th. That is next week, correct?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So,
so the loser of the Gainesville Roswell game will be again tied with Milton, but
unless it's Gainesville.
But Gainesville will
has the tiebreaker
right
on Milton. So yeah. So anything else other than 3 powerhouses in that region stand out to you there?
No, it's kind of playing out like everybody thought it would from the beginning of the year. And, you got to play the games. You got to get out there and see what happens. I'd really love to know the location of the Roswell-Gainesville game. It'd give me a good feel for what I'm telling you. The road teams in these pressurized games, and you're not at home in your familiar place and doing your familiar routine, it tends to weigh a little bit. But now Gainesville is awfully, awfully, awfully talented. So I don't know if Roswell can beat them or not.
Roswell game is actually at Gainesville on the 24th. And then check this out. Let me just go ahead and throw this out to you. The next week after that, Roswell hosts Milton. They got 2 top 5 teams back-to-back weeks to end the season here for Roswell.
Good luck. That's going to be tough.
Absolutely. Going into Region 8 5A, you have 11-ranked Jackson County. Maybe can make a good run into the playoffs, but I don't know that they've seen the competition like Region 7 has. They are clear by far the favorites of that region, I believe. But Habersham Central at 4-0 as well at 6-2 on the year. They're not that far behind. They have a very good running back themselves for the Raiders of Habersham Central. So I believe that, and that is an October 31st game. So that region's shaping up to be a pretty good – that game anyway is shaping up to be a real good game at the end of the season.
Yeah, we thought for a while now that this was a two-horse region anyway. It was between Jackson and Habersham. Everybody's saying it's going to be Jackson, but don't count out Habersham Central. Those guys can get in there and run the football and keep the ball away from you. And I think they play defense well enough. They could win that game. Hab Central could win that region. That would be huge for them. Huge.
Absolutely. That Habersham Central game is on the 31st, and it is at Jackson County. So that should help Jackson County. But like you said, I mean, a team that can control the clock and run the ball can shorten a game on you in a hurry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And time of possession in those big games are critical. And if you can control the time of possession and finish up with scores at the end of it, you can beat anybody. So Hab's in there. I mean, they could win it.
Absolutely. Moving on to Region 8 4A. Of course, we played Madison County and Flowery Branch, both out of that region. They're kind of sitting in the middle there. North Oconee is leading that division 4-0. Lost their best player, and guy, I believe he's going to Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
Edge rusher
or something like that. Lost their best player. Won the game last week and then dropped from number 1 to number 2 because everybody knew that, or all the pundits that do the ranking thought they wasn't as good without that player. But they have their championship game is probably going to be next week, I would say, especially since Walnut Grove fell this week to Flowery Branch. North Oconee goes to Flowery Branch next week for that region championship. And, Flowery Branch playing good football right now. It should be a tough matchup for North Oconee, especially after losing the player that they lost.
Yeah, it's going to be close, but now, they got other players too. I know losing number 1 player in the state of Georgia is going to hurt you, but they have players, and I said all along I thought North Oconee would win this region. And I think when it's all said and done down at Flowery Branch, I think North Oconee will win that game. Just because you got 65, 70 other kids on that team that know how to win. And they've been winning a lot the last couple of years. They played in the state championship game last year. And Flowery Branch, may show up at home and beat them. But I just think North Oconee's got too many weapons.
Absolutely. Moving to Region 6 AAA. Statistically, mathematically, they don't have the Region 1 yet. But North Hall has already beat GAC and Pickens, the number 2 and number 3 ranked team in that division. As long as they maintain against Johnson, which I don't think they'll have no problem, and Dawson County, that is your Region 6 3A champion there in the North Hall what is their mascot?
Trojans.
Yeah, North Hall Trojans. I was going to say Warriors, but I knew that wasn't right. So the North Hall Trojans look like they have won that region and set themselves up well for 3A state playoff.
I think winning tonight settled it. I think it's over. Johnson's not going to beat them, and Dawson's not going to beat them. So, I mean, they're going to finish the year undefeated, probably go into the playoffs as a top 4 team, probably.
Yeah, should.
And, shoot, those guys can play. They get players in a little bit themselves, but, you know, if you're in Hall County and you get a choice of where to play and you know where the best football is being played and you're a good football player, guess where you're going? North Hall. So I would be shocked if tonight didn't settle this thing altogether, because I'm pretty sure, we always thought it would be between North Hall and GAC, and when North Hall beat them, I thought maybe the region was settled.
Absolutely. Moving on to Region 8 3A, who are off this week. They have a top 12 matchup. Oconee County going to Monroe area next week. Monroe area 2-1 on the region. Oconee County 3-0, and Oconee County trying to stay perfect so they can get to that October 31st matchup with Jefferson. But the way this is set up, if Monroe area knocks off Oconee County, then Oconee County knocks off Jefferson. We got a 3-way tie for first, and then we're going into coin flips and tiebreakers and all kinds of other stuff for the region championship and Region 8. So whereas Region 6 is pretty much already decided, barring some catastrophic failure from North Hall, Region 8 is not. And but if Oconee County does beat Monroe area, it's still not decided because you got Jefferson and Oconee County on that October 31st matchup.
Yeah, there's going to be some ties in that deal. There's no way around it. I think Jefferson is probably the better team in that region. But Monroe area is tough, and that Oconee Monroe area is going to decide a lot of stuff.
Absolutely, and that Oconee County has to go to Monroe area. That's all. Like you said, that traveling on the road stuff is hard, especially when I would consider both these teams pretty evenly matched, and that's a tough road to hoe when you're pretty evenly matched team.
Yeah, because one of the first things you find out is on the road. It seems like the ball gets punched out more, penalties go the other way against you a lot of times, and it's just a lot to overcome on the road. But both those teams are about as even could be.
Absolutely. Moving on to Region 8 Single A Division 1. We will come to Region 8 Double A in just a second. We'll hold them for last. But Region 8 Single A Division 1, we have pretty much region championship next week, especially after Athens Academy took care of Elbert County. Athens Academy going to Rabun County. Athens Academy ranked number 6 in the private classifications. Rabun County ranked 12th in the Single A Division 1 classifications. Athens Academy 4-0 on the year, but Rabun County 3-1. They beat Athens Academy. Whoever wins this game is region champion, pretty much.
That's it.
That's what it comes down to, especially since Elbert County. Now, mathematically, Rabun County beats Athens Academy, and Elbert County can somehow beat Rabun County in the Granite Bowl. Then we don't, because Rabun County would be 3-1. That would give it to Athens Academy. So there's no possible tie situations here, but Elbert County could definitely be a spoiler for Rabun County now that Rabun County lost to Oglethorpe County last week.
Yeah, irregardless of how Athens Academy Rabun turns out, well, no, if Rabun wins, then if Elbert upsets Rabun,
it gives it back to Athens Academy because Elbert lost to Athens this week.
Yeah, and so really Rabun and Athens is in the thick of things, and Elbert's just hanging on for second or third, depending on what happens last week.
Absolutely. All right, let's go up to Region 8 AA, and then we'll take a break here in just a second. But let me pull up the schedules. We had Hart County. Will they be hosting? Are we hosting Stevens County next week?
Yes, and then we go to Franklin.
That is correct. We are hosted. So the Indians of Stevens County, which we talked about that earlier, I should have remembered that, is hosting Hart County hosting Stevens County. Let's see where Franklin has to go next week. Franklin has to go to Hebron Christian next week. Sorry for our friends from Franklin County. And then, let's see, what's the other team? East Jackson. So that would mean East Jackson is going to Prince Avenue, or hosting Prince Avenue Christian next week. So, really can solidify the region out right here. Basically, Hart and Stevens, if Hart wants to stay for that number 2 spot, and I know it's kind of, that's pretty self-explanatory, but Stevens County Indians, that rivalry game for Hart County, it could really ruin your season, or it could really make your season right here next week.
It's a catapulter. It can catapult you into a playoff spot where you play at home the first week or you play on the road. And I'm telling you now, you want to play it in Herndon. You really do.
Absolutely. When we come back, we will hit the local scores one more time. We will go over the Pick'em contest. And if we have time, we will kind of walk through the 2A pre-rankings coming into this week before all the action happened tonight. But if not, we will talk about it next week. But for now, we will take a break and come back here on the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show in just a moment.
Fall's heating up at the DQ Grill and Chill on East Franklin Street in Hartwell. Try the all-new DQ sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets, coated in your choice of sweet chili or honey barbecue for that perfect kick of flavor. And don't miss the $7 meal deals, your pick of a juicy cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strip basket with fries, a drink, and a DQ sundae. Then cool it all down with the blizzard of the month, the Oreo Reese's Blizzard, packed with cookie crunch and peanut butter perfection. The DQ Grill and Chill in Hartwell. Happy tastes good.
Suburban Propane, formerly Drake Gas, invites you to join the Suburban Propane family. That means you'll receive the same great service from employees you know and trust, still serving you from Royston, Hartwell, Elberton, and Lexington. Plus, you'll enjoy easy payment plans, online account access, and emergency support. Now is the best time to call and take advantage of our fall fill-up and tank installation specials. Call us today at 706-245-6111. That's 706-245-6111.
Locally owned businesses are a big part of our community. If you're a business owner, I'd be proud to protect what you've worked so hard to build here in Hartwell. I'm Jeff Brown, your local country financial agent. I'll make sure you have the right coverage so you can protect what you have today and build for the future. I'll also give quick, personal support when you need it most, whether you're filing a claim or asking a simple question. Give us a call at our Hartwell office at 706-376-7186.
Commercial insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Have you tried Tri-County Chevrolet?
Hey folks, I'm Jason Phillips, General Manager at Tri-County Chevrolet. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, come shop with your hometown Chevy dealership. You always get upfront pricing, fair value for your trade, plus you're dealing with local people who are vested in the community. So come see us at Tri-County Chevrolet, Highway 29 in Royston, and online at TriCountyChevy.com.
They're gonna buy a Tri-County Chevrolet, yeah.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Looking to build your dream home or transform your space? At Lake Hartville Contractors in Hartville, Georgia, we bring your vision to life with high-quality construction you can count on. From custom homes and renovations to additions and outdoor living spaces, our craftsmanship blending beauty and functionality. With years of trusted experience, we're here to make your project stress-free and tailored to your needs. Phone 706-436-3441 today or find us on Facebook at Lake Hartville Contractors. Your dream project starts here.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. I'm your host, Lee Blackwell. Joining me is my co-host, Coach Terry Blackwell, and answering the phones for us is Tressa Blackwell tonight. All right. Going to do something just a touch different here. Last week, the GHSA decided that they wanted to do the PSR rankings for every division. They're moving back to a 7A, single A to 7A classification ranking system. There will be no more Division 1 and Division 2, so we'll start at 7A and go 6A and so forth, whatever. This PSR ranking system is already being used by 3A, 2A, and single A and private 3A through single A. But they will do this next year for everybody, and they will also not guarantee 4 teams in on a region. It will be the region champions on every classification will be guaranteed, and then it's strictly this PSLR ranking system. So I'm going to scroll down here. We'll come back up if we need to cover some of the better ones. But coming into tonight at 3A, here is your top 32 PSR ranking teams. You have North Hall at number 1. Jefferson was number 2. LaGrange number 3, which LaGrange lost tonight, so they will drop. But Sandy Creek was 4. Pickens 5. Northwest Whitfield 6. West Lawrence 7. Jenkins 8. All 4 of those teams would host the first 2 rounds of playoffs. Then hosting the first round would be number 9 ranked Westside Augusta. Number 10 is Troop. 11 Peach County. 12 Heritage Ringgold. 13 Stevenson. 14 Calhoun. 15 Oconee County. And 16 was North Clayton. And then going on the road for the first week, and then maybe a second week if they won, would have been number 17 Harlem, 18 Cairo, 19 Liberty County, 20 Douglas, 21 Mount Zion Jonesboro, 22 was Westover, 23 Gilmer, 24 Monroe area, who is sitting at 6-2, would be the 24th ranked team. Number 25 Cherokee Bluff, 26 Lumpkin County, 27 Long County, 28 Mary Parsons, 29 Whitewater, 30 Chestatee, Upson Lee at 31, and Beach is 32, which Beach is 3-3 on the year. Coming into 29, 30, and 32 are all have losing records coming into tonight, but would still make the playoffs. What is your kind of thoughts on that? We'll do 2A in just a second. I want to do 3A first just to go ahead, because this is actually what they're going to use this year, with the exception of they're going to have to move it a little bit because they are guaranteeing 4 positions in each region in. So it would mix a little bit, but it'd be very close to this next year for this classification.
Okay. Question number 1. Who's doing the system? Who knows everything they need to know about South Georgia football and North Georgia football to know who's better than who? All right. What's the formula? What does the team do to move itself up other than win? Play well? I mean, there's no descriptive come out as far as I can tell about how they decide this. Like, I just don't get it. I get why they're wanting to do it, because a lot of times in regions you get top 4 teams. You'll get teams that some don't even have but 4 teams. You get teams with automatic bids that are no good, frankly, and you get teams at home like the region we was talking about a while ago, who had number 3, number 5, number 10, all in the same region. I get it. I get what the thinking is. But I do not like, personally, the fact that there's no real formula, or at least they haven't released it, so a team would know, do you need to score that extra touchdown in a game or whatever to move yourself into rankings, because it's going to matter when it's all said and done.
There is actually a little thing that has came out about the formula. Here is a very short, and I mean extremely short, synopsis of what it says. The PSR formula is team winning percentage times team's opponent winning percentage times team's opponent's winning percentage. The weakness in the formula such as these, according to critics, are that the team's winning percentage and that of its opponents are often deceiving and do not adequately measure the team's strength, which is what you were just talking about. Proponents like it because it's easy to understand compared to more robust math ranking models. They're saying that the proponents like it because it's pretty self-explanatory that you take your winning percentage, you time it by your opponent's winning percentage, and you time it by their opponent's winning percentage, whereas some of these other ones they get really off into that Common Core math type ranking system and all that stuff. So this is the easiest one to understand per se, but it's still not easy to understand, if that makes any sense.
What if Hart County plays West Side? Then what?
Well, you hope West Side wins every game after that. Basically, yeah.
But they don't know down there how good West Side is, or they don't know how good West Oak is, or they don't know. It's just not. I don't know. I pretty much like regions figuring that out on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't. We've done it that way for years. I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, let's go ahead and do Class 2A. And the reason why I kind of held on to this one is because of how all over the place this one is, okay? So when I go down this ranking system right here, I will tell you what the PSR ranking is, and then I will tell you what the AJC ranking is as opposed to the two, okay? Does that make any sense? So, like, number one in the PSR is North Maury at 7-0. On the AJC, they're ranked 9th. Number 2 is Carver of Atlanta. They're ranked 4th in the AJC. Number 3 is Carver of Columbus, which is by far the consensus number 1. They're number 3 in the PSR, but number 1 in AJC. Morgan County, number 4 in the rankings. They're number 3 at the AJC. Rockmart 5, they're 5 in the AJC. Sumter County 6, they're 6 in the AJC. Pierce County is ranked 7th in this PR ranking system, and they're number 2 in the AJC. Number 8, Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe at 5-2. They're not even ranked. You're like, that's not all top 10. That's exactly right. So let me get down to the next ranked team. Ringgold, number 9. Laney, number 10. Franklin County, number 11, which they lost tonight. They'll drop some more. Appling County, number 12. And then number 13 is Callaway, which is ranked number 7th in the AJC. That's still not all the top 10. Okay, number 14 is Columbus. Number 15, Kip Atlanta Collegiate. Number 16, East Jackson, which Hart beats, so they'll knock them down. Sonoraville, 17th. 18th is Thompson, who is ranked 10th in the AJC. So because of who they're playing and how their opponent's ranking system is, a top 10 team is ranked 18th and won't be hosting a home field advantage.
Right. So
wait. It gets better. I'm not done yet. Burke County, number 19. 20, Miller Grove. 21, Cook. 22, Hapeville Charter, which is ranked number 8 in the AJC, and they're ranked at 22nd. You were like, what does that even mean? Well, number 23 was Stevens County. Number 24 is Columbia. 25, Spencer. 26, South Atlanta. 27, Jackson. 28, Pike County. And number 29 was Hart County coming into the night. Now, Hart will go up, and there'll be some movements, and they may clean themselves up by the end of this, but then Westside Macon was 30th, Kendrick 31, and Kalula Creek at 2-5 on the year is 32.
Like I say, it's just an attempt to make it easier on people to say, oh, but you didn't play anybody good, or you played, usually the teams that play people really better than they are and get beat, it hurts worse than it does with how good the opponent's rankings are. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. But anyway, we'll give it a whirl, see how it works. So Hart's on. So right now, as of right now, Hart County's on the road.
Coming into tonight, we were ranked 29th. Now that will change. We'll go up. If we win the next 2, we will go up and should host, because it's still this year. It's still going to prioritize 1 and 2. So if you win 1 or 2, you'll be prioritized into the top 16. But this is just saying what it would be like if this year was next year. Does that make sense? So if this year was next year, Hart coming into tonight at 2-5 would be ranked 29th.
And they'd be on the road somewhere about like Carver, Columbus, somewhere down that way probably.
Well, let's see. They'd be playing the number 14, which would be Morgan County, who is ranked 3rd in the AJC.
Yeah.
Some other notable. Let's do the privates in this right quick. That's fine. I know what time it is. We'll get to a break in just a second. 3A to single A privates. Number 1, Hebron. They're number 1. Landmark Christian is ranked number 2. They're not even ranked in the top 10. Fellowship Christian, ranked number 2 in the AJC, is number 3 in this. Aquinas, ranked number 4 in this, is number 8 in the AJC. Whitfield Academy is not ranked, but they're ranked 5 in the PSR rankings. Athens Academy is 6th. They're ranked 6th in the AJC. Kingsridge Christian, not ranked in the AJC, but ranked 7th in this. Then you had Savannah Christian, who's number 5, ranked 8th. Calvary Day is 9th. They were ranked 4th in the AJC. GAC is 10 and 10 in both. Wesleyan is 11th and 9 in the AJC. And then Prince Avenue Christian at 5 and 2, losing to Hart County and then losing to
Tennessee, at Team Tennessee.
A powerhouse top 25 Tennessee team, national top 25 team, knocks them all the way down to 12th. They're ranked 3rd in the AJC. This is where this kind of stuff gets confusing, or not confusing. They would host a first-round game, but it's because there's only 24 teams in that classification of private schools, and the first 4 or however many it is, they all get buys anyway into the second round. So they would host the first round. But if it was a full 32-field team, Prince Avenue would be right there on the cusp of hosting a first round as a number 3 team.
Well, if the Tennessee team's strength of schedule was figured in, they should be way on up the list.
They should be right behind Hebron Christian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, there's positives and negatives to both, but I don't know that the positives are going to outweigh the negatives, especially not locking in certain, other than just the region champions.
Nope.
Not going to work. Yeah, that's enough of that. We won't have to worry about that till next year, and then next year we'll just get to pull what little bit hair we have left out, trying to figure out where we're going to be ranked. But we'll take a break. This will be the final break of the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic. On the other side, we will do the local scores and the Pick'em contest results right here on WKLY on the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show.
Senator Lee Anderson and his family and staff are proud to serve the great people in the 24th District of the Senate of Georgia, consisting of Hart, Elbert, Lincoln, Oglethorpe, Tolliver, Wilkes, Richmond, and Columbia counties. He is also proud to support all area high school athletics. If you ever have a concern, you are welcome to contact Senator Lee Anderson by calling his office at 404-656-5114 or email him at lee.anderson@senate.ga.gov.
Hey football fans, this is Bonnie McDonald with the Sold Squad at Remax Classic. As a wife and mother of 5, I completely understand the importance of finding the perfect place to call home. It's my passion to help growing families plant their roots right here in our Bulldog Nation. So forget the stress of buying or selling a home, get in the game, and call Bonnie McDonald with Remax Classic at 706-982-4978.
From our family to yours, go Dogs!
When you need a law firm that is equipped to handle your personal injury matter, you need the Burrell's Law Office. The Burrell's Law Firm focuses on personal injury, workers' comp, and automotive accidents. Call 706-356-0518 to set up your free consultation. With offices conveniently located in Livonia and Hartwell. That's 706-356-0518. Burrell's Law Office. Nothing else than excellence.
Honey, the deck just collapsed again.
That's the 3rd time this month, Todd. I told you, duct tape is not a renovation strategy.
Well, what do we do now?
We call Flatland Construction and Landscaping. They do it all. Decking, painting, framing, even pressure washing. And they don't take payment in duct tape.
Finally, someone who knows what they're doing.
Call 706-436-3729 for a free estimate today. Also, find us on Facebook.
Flatland Construction and Landscaping.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. I am Lee Blackwell. Alongside me, Coach Terry Blackwell, and answering the phones for us tonight was Tressa Blackwell. Let's get into these Pick'em's contest scores right quick. We're going to try to hit those and hit all the local scores real fast before we have to get out of here in about 4.5 minutes. First game that we had was Athens Academy Elbert County at Athens Academy. Athens Academy won 48-14. Everybody took Athens Academy. That was a win for everybody. Next game we had Troop going to LaGrange. Troop won that game 38-24. Only one taking Troop was Benjamin London. Everybody else took LaGrange. So therefore Benjamin London got a win there. Everybody else got their first loss. Going to the next game, Lumpkin County and North Hall. North Hall won 35-12. Everybody took North Hall. That was a win for everybody. Next game was Oglethorpe at Commerce. Oglethorpe wins 24-14. Everybody took Oglethorpe. That was a win for everybody. Next game, Gordon Lee at Gordon Central. And I told Daddy on off air just a while ago, he asked me how I picked Gordon Lee to win, which they did 48-13. And I said, I have no idea. I said, I knew nothing about either one of them. I just went with Lee because it had the same name as me and just went with it. So me, Benjamin, and Leland Jones all took Gordon Lee. Got a win there. Bruce and Dad both took Gordon Central and both took a loss there. Final high school game that we had tonight was Prince Avenue Christian at Franklin County. Prince Avenue won 45-14. Everybody took Prince Avenue except for Benjamin. We talked him into drinking that Franklin County green Kool-Aid. And unfortunately for him, it cost him a perfect week through the high school pick'ems, give him his first loss of the night. So Benjamin, myself, and Leland Jones all went 5-1 on the week. And Bruce and my dad both went 4-2, with the college games still to come tomorrow, which is a 4-2 record is not that bad. I'm pretty impressed of how all 5 of us are picking these games this year. To be 30 games over 500 is pretty good for everybody. That's what Bruce is, I believe. I don't have the full records in front of me, but I believe he was 30 games above 500 on that. Let's hit some local scores right quick. I'll start with Region 8 AA. Dad, if you want to rotate Region 8 Single A Division 1, and we're going to have to just hit them quickly. No records, no region, none of that stuff. We'll just hit final scores. Hart County 21, East Jackson 6, Hebron Christian 51, Stevens County 24, and Prince Avenue Christian 45, Franklin County 14.
Athens Academy 48, Elbert County 14, Providence Christian 27, Banks County 19, Oglethorpe 24, Commerce 14.
No Region 8 AAA scores this week. They're all off. I'm going to hit these super fast, Dad. Don't worry about getting any more of these. North Hall 35, Lumpkin County 12, GAC 40, White County 14, Pickens 49, Johnson 3, Dawson County 42, Chestatee 14, Madison County 42, Cedar Shoals 7, Flowery Branch 49, Walnut Grove 28, Eastside 42, East Forsyth 7, Jackson County 57, Winder Barrow 13, Alcovey 27, Appalachia 21, Gainesville 55, Chattahoochee 3, Roswell 57, Lanier 0, Secklinger 44, Johns Creek 0, and Morgan County 42, Jackson 18. That will do it for us for this edition of the Bonnie McDonald Remax Classic High School Football Scoreboard Show. We appreciate you joining us. We look forward to you joining us next week as we go over all the local scores in the Northeast Georgia and the upstate of South Carolina. I'm Lee Blackwell. Alongside me, Coach Terry Blackwell, and answering the phones for us is Tressa Blackwell. We will see you next week.
Go Dogs.
Thanks so much for tuning into the Bonnie McDonald RE/MAX Classic High School Scoreboard Show. Presented locally by State Senator Lee Anderson, Hill Insurance, State Representative Alan Powell, Burrell's Law Office, Red Clay Properties, Suburban Propane, Purina of Hartwell, Adams Building Supply, Jeff Brown Country Financial